Now we are continuing to track flood recovery efforts in McDowell County, as winter storm conditions make things even more challenging for people on the ground. Much of the relief effort is being supported by volunteers, many of whom suffered major losses themselves. Newswatch's Danny Delente was once again on the ground today and has the details.
This is McDowell County. This is what we do. We're very much Appalachian strong, and I'm proud of that heritage. I'm very proud of it.
Welch and its citizens have been dealing with tragedy, with the flood's impact still being felt over a week later.
People have lost their houses, cars. You have families that lost their life, and lost their grandkids. They lost everything they had.
But this hasn't stopped organizations like the Food Pantry and Roscoe's from providing crucial supplies to those in need.
So we do baby food, strollers, crib beds, anything we can get our hands on, pack and plays. We do that all the time, and then we have a kids food program. So once a week a child gets 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 dinners, 2 snacks, and 2 drinks in that bag for the weekend. Although the Food Pantry partners with Facing Hunger, they are still in desperate need of meat and dairy products to help those impacted. Providing over 7,000 meals a month, the demand is greatly outweighing the supply. And not only has the Food Pantry directly supplied families in need, but they've also donated food to local restaurants, allowing them to cook and serve free meals to the community.
That's the right thing to do, to bless others. God blessed us, like I said, and it's only right that we bless others to give back. We got good hearts, man, and, we willing to just share that love, man, and give back to others that's in need.
Roscoe's was among the few restaurants that experienced minimal damage, making them a crucial player in food distribution. They began giving out free meals out of their own pockets until Tuesday, when they received a much-needed donation.
The first couple days we done it ourselves, but since then I want to give a big thanks to Sandy Blankenship. She run the Food Pantry down there in Welch. She done donated so much, a whole lot. That's been a blessing.
For those working in the kitchen at Roscoe's, once they saw the extent of the damage, providing free meals became an obvious decision.
And just seeing the hurt in their eyes and seeing them sitting here and cry, I felt the pain, man. I could really, it was devastating, man, to just see them break down like that, man, for losing their loved ones.
And that case was not isolated.
Well, people, they just lost everything. I have a friend of mine that was in Derby trying to go across the bridge. Water caught him sideways, flipped his truck, floated down the river. He had to jump out and get out of his truck.
Scenarios like this were common during the flooding, and even with the significant losses, the local support remains strong.
My daughter lost everything. My house had 5 foot of water in it, and every one of these girls out here, they've lost everything, and they dropped their whole life, and all they've done is work 18 hours a day down here. They dropped everything. I'm not kidding you. These people down here lost everything.
Having experienced similar challenges in the past, residents of McDowell County are ready to face what's ahead.
We're survivors. We've shown that. We've been abandoned. We've been the heel of this country a long time.
In Welch, I'm Danny Delente for Newswatch.
Schools in McDowell County are still closed until further notice. However, the school system is offering counseling to students who need it in the aftermath of the floods. If your child needs help dealing with the flooding, you can request help from the school system. You can access that form via the link that's on your screen. We also shared it on our Facebook page. Now, as we continue to track the aftermath of the severe historic flooding across southern West Virginia, the Trump administration has yet to authorize federal aid for the hardest hit areas like McDowell County. President Trump approved an emergency declaration for aid in Kentucky back on February 16th. In his briefing today, Governor Patrick Morrisey said that Kentucky had a different kind of application. For context, it took more than a month and a half for President Biden to authorize FEMA resources in Fayette County after the severe storms last April. Morrisey said his administration is working with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and he expects the authorization to be given eventually. He expects to get an update today or tomorrow. We also heard from Senator Shelley Moore Capito, who says she is leaning on FEMA to get disaster assistance. She said that she believes the state has submitted as much information as it can.
But I'm also assuming that the costs are rising. And as I see, different areas that are being held for warming stations or for people to have meals, to be able to, some of the efforts that are being moved forward to get nutritional items or medicines to people in their homes where they might have a bridge washed out. All of this adds up to quite a bit of not just property damage, but damage to individuals. And so we're going to keep pressing that.
McDowell County and the state fire marshal will honor a firefighter who died in the line of duty tomorrow. War VFD Deputy Chief Jeffrey Lawson suffered a medical emergency on the way to a fire on Monday, and he passed away. Now he's being honored with a procession that starts in Charleston and ends in Welch. You can read the full details on his procession on our website at woay.com. EOC officials are requesting residents fill out surveys as our region is devastated by back-to-back storms and extensive flooding. The data collected will help them learn about the extent of the damage and how to proceed. Newswatch reporter Jillian Risberg found out why it is so important to take part in the survey.
A lot of people does not want to report it. They'll just report it to their insurance. And we don't get reports of it. And then, sometimes they'll call in later and we're like, well, we don't have a report of that. If the state declares it as an emergency, that they have that documentation to get help.
Ensure you upload pictures to the Damage Disaster Survey so EOC can see what they're working with in terms of damage before they come down. Raleigh County Emergency Services Planner Tabitha Horn says it's going to take some time for the state to process because they receive so many reports.
I know a lot of people's going to get anxious, why haven't nobody contacted me? Why has nobody been down here? But, give us some time and we will get to you as soon as we can. Once the state filters out all those reported emergencies, they'll start going around and doing their own damage assessment. Save the receipts. That way you have documentation of everything that you have already done.
Horn says so many areas were affected, including Raleigh County.
We did get hit. We've had to do evacuations in some areas with the swift water rescue and just flooding in the general areas that usually gets flooded. Some of the surrounding counties were hit a little harder.
Mother Nature hasn't made up her mind yet, and it hasn't given anybody time to clean up from the previous storm.
And with all that snow buildup from that storm and all that heavy rain that we got right after, it caused a lot of that flooding, a lot of unstable ground for trees and debris, and caused a lot of rock slides and mudslides.
EOC staff has been working numerous hours to make sure everyone gets the help they need. This disaster is challenging and frustrating.
It's your house, it's your home that you live in, that you work so hard for and to keep it, and then something as devastating as that comes in and does thousands of dollars of damage is it's just heartbreaking, especially for the ones that don't have a lot.
Jillian Risberg reporting for Newswatch.
As flood recovery continues in McDowell County, county officials are urging residents to take advantage of its non-emergency hotline and fill out the storm survey. The hotline is for anyone who needs non-emergency flood-related assistance. It is open around the clock. You can also call it if you wish to make a donation. You can fill out the storm survey by scanning the link that's on your screen. That will inform state and county officials as they request disaster recovery assistance from the federal government. Governor Patrick Morrisey has formally requested the aid with support from West Virginia's congressional delegation. So far, there have been no word on whether or not it has been granted. Lastly, all schools in McDowell County will remain closed due to the flooding. We'll update you when we learn whenever they plan to open up again. In the aftermath of that severe flooding in McDowell County, local organizations are stepping up to provide help. Here in Oak Hill, a local ambulance company is taking donations to deliver to the hardest hit areas. According to Director of Public Relations, Robert Donnell, Priority Ambulance makes it a priority to take care of its neighbors. This is the first time the company has started a donation drive like this, but they want to do more in the future. You can drop off donations at the office off of Main Street in Oak Hill between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Well, us at Priority Ambulance is accepting donations of blankets, food, clothes, anything of that nature for our friends and families of our neighboring counties with the victims of the flood. We're not accepting any monetary donations, but the blankets and the food and the cleaning supplies is what we're accepting. I'm probably going to take them to the Welch Fire Department and the Mullins Fire Department.
Summers County is hosting a flood relief drive to help those impacted in McDowell County. It'll be at the 911 Center parking lot next Monday and Tuesday, February 24th and 25th, and Thursday, February 27th from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The most needed items are non-perishable foods, water, toothpaste and toothbrush, baby food, diapers, wipes, feminine hygiene products, and sanitizing wipes.